Not enough people realize that they're in trauma bonded relationships because there's a lot of misunderstandings surrounding that. So let's talk about it today. I realize that a lot of people think trauma bonding is two people getting together with the same trauma and repeating the same pattern. Trauma bonding is a type of emotional attachment that you build with someone over time. It's a cycle where you meet someone and you feel an intense love, connection, and affection towards them. But in between that, you get moments of complete invalidation. It is a continuous, inconsistent bounce between them making you feel like you are the most important person in their life. Next bounce, they make you feel like your feelings don't matter and you don't matter. They give their attention, their love and affection to you, and the next moment they will withdraw, ignore, invalidate, and abandon you. That type of inconsistency is what creates the trauma bond. Let me explain a little more using experiments that were done. B.F. Skinner, a psychologist, did this experiment called intermittent reinforcement, where he took a group of rats and he put a button in their cage that releases food. So first he set it up that every time the rat would push the button, it would release food. And what he noticed over time is rats would just push the button when they were hungry. Because the reward was consistent, they would press that button at a steady rate. Now what he did was he stopped the rewards, and the rats at first were pressing the button and noticed nothing was coming out, so they stopped pressing that button. He then made it random. So when you would press the button, a reward or food would come out, and when you press the button, sometimes no food would come out. When the rats didn't know whether food was coming out or not, they became obsessed with that button. The rats developed a very unhealthy attachment to that button, excessively pressing that button, waiting to get rewarded. This experiment made many scientists and psychologists realize that this could be applied to emotional trauma bonding, where unpredictable, inconsistent behavior or words or actions creates very unhealthy dynamics. It can create obsessive or addictive behavior in a person that would normally not feel that way. To know if you are in that type of unhealthy relationship is when you press the button, meaning when you connect with that person, they give you love, attention, and affection. It makes you feel like the best person ever, on top of the world, like you can do anything. Then another time you press that button again, and this time maybe you're tired and you're not feeling so good about yourself, and you reach out to them, and because of the inconsistency, they abandon you. They ignore you. Maybe they stonewall you. Maybe they tell you that you're too sensitive, and they completely invalidate your feelings. And that leaves you feeling lonely, sad, depressed, invalidated, not loved, not good enough. Believe it or not, the way the human brain works, that type of unhealthy, inconsistent behavior can develop this weird attachment, obsessive feeling towards that person. You start developing this need for their attention and their affection. So you reach out a little more, and you may find yourself typing on the phone all sorts of messages, calling them excessively, showing up at their house, apologizing, putting your needs last. It's a weird habit that humans develop, just like the rats. And over time, it could get worse. And that is the trauma bond. Believe it or not, it's not just narcissists that can create this dynamic. The difference between a narcissist and somebody who has simply an unhealthy attachment style is the difference of introspection, meaning are they able to self-reflect and say, wait a minute, I don't want to act like this, I don't want to feel like this, and I want to heal some parts of myself. Narcissists do not have a tendency to do that. They will perpetuate and keep the blame on the other person, not being able to self-reflect. Some people believe that this trauma bond develops a codependency, but that's not the issue. Codependency is where someone is the fixer and someone is the fixie. Meaning, I cannot regulate my own emotions and I need you to fix me, and that person takes the role of the fixer. Although it seems similar, the difference in that is one person is needing validation, the other person is giving it to them. And they continuously perpetuate that cycle. When in the trauma bonded relationship, a person is looking for a connection, affection, and love, and is inconsistently getting it from the other person, meaning that person is not fixing their emotions, they're doing the opposite and completely invalidating and abandoning them. I'll make more videos on codependency, but for now, Just remember, if you are in a trauma bonded relationship where it is very inconsistent, you have the right to be in a relationship where there's co-regulation. Co-regulation is a mutual connection between two people that help you guys maintain the stability in you validate my feelings and I validate yours. Where both people are consistent in their love and affection and validation, all while being able to self-regulate, heal those things so they don't perpetuate that in their relationship. It's not one-sided, it's an equal balance. If one of those people is feeling off one day or one week, they don't take it out on each other, they're able to express it. The only way to get out of this relationship is number one, awareness, knowing that you are in an unhealthy dynamic where you may be addicted to the good parts of the relationship because they make you feel really good. That external love and validation fulfills something in you. The second part of it is know to give all that love, attention, and energy to yourself when someone is being inconsistent with you. When you press a button towards anyone in your life and they do not give you the love, affection, and validation, you need to redirect that energy and give it to yourself before it turns into an unhealthy trauma bond. If you start giving yourself that love and attention and stop giving it to someone else externally, you can develop a very healthy attachment style with yourself. And therefore, you will not accept that in your external world. You will not accept that in any relationship that comes into your life. You are not crazy. You are not nuts. Your feelings matter and you matter. And you may have just developed over time an unhealthy bond to someone who is dealing with their own shit. And they happen to be taking it out on you. So unless they are willing to self-reflect and correct how they are responding to things, you have to do you. Take care of you and know that you are enough. You are more than enough.